Bulavinaka, Fiji, and a warm welcome to Speak Your Mind. I'm Louise Kaunisela, your host, and our guest today is from the Department of Social Welfare, the Director, Rupeni Fatiaki. A warm welcome to Speak Your Mind. And yes, I know that social welfare recipients had been informed about the move to change banks from from Westpac to BSP if they choose to. We must stress on this. Now, there's been some confusion or misinformation about how recipients not changing banks will not be able to receive their monthly allowance. So, what is the real story here, Rupeni?
Again, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to come back and, clarify, to our recipients and members of the public regarding the changes that are happening within the department in the ministry in relation to the social protection programs.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the transition, as we refer to, is the changing of bank accounts from Westpac to BSP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe in the last couple of weeks, there was information that was going around that if they don't change now, then they will not be receiving their allowances come August this month. I think let me assure them that payments will be going to their normal or the current bank accounts, whether it be ESP or Westpac or ANZ, their normal current bank accounts. So it will be this month. It will be going to those accounts.
Okay, so there's really no need for social welfare recipients to change banks immediately.
Yes, there's no need to panic.
Okay.
The payments will be coming, and let me again clarify. I recall in the last time that I was here, we did mention about the recertification exercise.
Right.
So if you have recertified, you have filled the forms, and have submitted by the 10th of July,
Mm-hmm.
then payments will be coming to your
Yes.
current,
Yes.
bank account.
Right.
So there's no need to panic.
Mm-hmm.
We are sure that your, in fact, payments will be starting the first payment by tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be coming to the current bank accounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, why is social welfare giving the option to its recipients to join BSP?
Well, yeah, again, just to clarify, I think it was announced, by the Honorable AG during the budget debate that, the commission is paid by government. Previously, it was with, the Westpac, and so now that PSP is the service provider,
Mm-hmm.
and so the government is paying the commission to the ministry, is paying the commission to the BSP.
Okay.
And that's why we, for the transition, for those, who choose to stay, that's an option. They can choose to stay using the current bank accounts.
Okay.
That's a choice that they can make.
Mm-hmm.
But why we are making this transition is because of the commission that is paid by government.
Okay.
And so if they move to BSP, normally the bank fees, and that's where the commission comes in, which is
Okay.
normally paid by, if you have a normal bank account, you pay for those bank fees.
Right.
Bank charges all of us, if you have a bank account with them. Now, because of this agreement, because of this, the special clientele that you have, so consultations and discussions made with the vendor, and
Mm-hmm.
so the transition is that when they move, or if they move to PSP, then the commission that is paid
Okay.
will accommodate those bank fees.
Right. So
Meaning that,
your recipient doesn't have to pay
they
the
don't
bank
have to
fee
pay the bank
themselves.
then-
Yeah.
they don't have to pay those bank fees.
Okay.
If they remain in their own, choose to remain in their own
Then
accounts,
only concern.
then like they will have to be meeting those bank fees once the transition is complete.
And obviously, they wouldn't want to be paying bank
Yeah.
fees because, they're already poor.
So that's why we're giving them, the choice.
Yeah.
This is what government is offering,
Oh, okay.
but you have the choice. If you want to move, you can move. But if you want decide that you can stay, and then a couple of people have come to us and said, no, we prefer to stay. And we
Yeah.
explained to them that no, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're happy, they've taken that, and they say no, they
They don't mind
yeah, they
paying
don't mind paying for
that
that. So they
small
decided
fee
to
that
stay.
they have to pay.
Yeah.
Where others might be a bit fussy, they
yeah.
won't want to pay.
Yeah, so that's the option that we give, and that's
Yeah.
the reason why we're making the transition.
Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you very much. So, what does a social welfare recipient have to do to change banks from Westpac to BSP or whatever bank that they've nominated bank if he or she wants to?
We will be announcing, and hopefully I'll be able to do it in this, in this broadcast. But they will be required once we make those announcements on those centers, because in the last couple of weeks, there was, a rush to the banks, the PSP branches, and so trying to avoid that. We have in consultation with PSP, we have identified centers, so that instead of going to the banks, because when they rush to the banks, they also, because banks have their own clients,
Right.
and so it interferes with their day-to-day, operations.
Mm-hmm.
And so to make it easier for clients not having to wait all these long lines, and likewise to the bank, we've consulted, we have discussed, and we have identified centers that I will be able to announce today. It has been confirmed. And so what they will need to do is that if they come to those centers, they will need to bring this ID card that we gave them. It's a Department of Social Welfare ID card.
Right.
They'll have to bring their voter registration ID card. And then if they have their joint TIN card or the TIN letter, they can bring those three identification, documents.
Yes.
And so we'll be able to, the bank will be able to process their
Okay.
accounts.
So these are the important things that
That
they
they have
need
to-
to bring
Yeah.
along with them. It just makes things easier, right? So just three things.
Yes.
Okay, but we'll be back in a moment on Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. We're back on Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits, the only classic hit station in the country. Be sure to tune in. And this is a live radio broadcast. So if you're listening in, if you have any questions, you're most welcome to call 3220-906 or 7732-906. We do have the delayed coverage on FBC TV. And this is always on Tuesday nights and also Wednesday mornings. Now, from where we left off, my guest, of course, from the Social Welfare Department, the Director, Rupeni Fatiaki, I spoke about, how recipients are expected, what are they expected to do? So you said they need to bring along with them the three IDs for the switching of the bank accounts, if they choose to.
Yeah.
Right. So you can continue from there.
And for those that don't have the ID cards, the ones that are given by the department, they can bring along, their passport photos. Now our officers will be there in the centers to develop those the cards there and then. But for the centers, as I had mentioned earlier, I know we have discussed with the PSP, and we have agreed to have it in the main centers. And so in Suva, and that is we are starting from tomorrow, which is the 5th, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday. And in Suva, we will be having it. In fact, we had first decided to have it at one of the parks in Samambula, but because of the weather, we had agreed that now we will start from the Lemmy Catholic Parish Hall.
Okay.
And so this is for tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. And those who are living around those areas, they can come, to the Lemmy Catholic Hall, next opposite to the police station. But as we progress, we will be in the next couple of weeks. Please note that this transition, this exercise, we will be doing this for the whole of this month.
I
And if
see.
you see that needs to carry on in the following month, then we will do so, and we will be advising people of the centers.
Okay.
But as a start, as we agreed, we will be doing Suba tomorrow at the Lemon Parish Hall.
Mm-hmm.
It is from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and so I would advise all our recipients who are staying in that area,
Mm-hmm.
Dilainavesi, Lemir, towards Walikutu, number of site, they can come there. But for those recipients who are staying on this site, most probably next week we will be announcing. We're trying to find, if the weather continues like this, we'll try to find the center that in the house where they can they can come. We tried the other centers, but because of last minute they've all booked for this next couple of days, and
Okay.
so we'll be informing them next week. So please, there's no need for them to rush. We will be announcing and we'll be moving around so that everybody will be able to come to any center that's near to them.
Right.
For Nosori, again, the dates are tomorrow until Friday,
Okay.
with the exception of Nandi, will be starting on Thursday and Friday because the civic center has been booked. But
Okay.
Nosori, they will be having at the Central Christian Center Hall, and this is the one before the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Nosori Bridge.
Okay.
This is the one on your left, and so we'll be having that same time 9 to 3 from tomorrow until Friday. And so again, we encourage those Nakasi, this side, Kusa,
Mm-hmm.
they can go to that center. Those on the other side, again, we will be announcing, the venues as we progress.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, please, there's no need for them to rush.
Okay.
We will be around the communities and we'll be letting them know about the centers as we progress.
As you progress.
Yes.
Okay.
And for Pa, again, there will be at Gujarati Crown. That's opposite Max Value, the runabout.
Mm-hmm.
And so same time, 9 to 3. So we encourage recipients in Ba
Mm-hmm.
to visit the center the next 3 days. And again, we will be announcing if there's any changes in the center in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
For Lotoka, it's going to be the Girmat Center. Same time, 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll announce if there's going to be changes in the center in the next couple of weeks. For Nandi, because the Civic Center has been booked, and so on Wednesday, so we will start on Thursday and Friday. So we
Okay.
encourage our recipients from Nandi to come visit teams that will be there in the Civic Center. And for the Northern Division, we will be starting at Subril Park. So we're asking, teams are working on the ground to inform people to come to Subril Park.
Mm-hmm.
Again, next 3 days, we will be informing them about the venue as it change. I would advise, our recipients from South Savu, that side, please, we will be coming to your area.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is no need to come all the way from South Savu to Lambasa.
Yeah.
Likewise, for Namboalu and Lekutu, we have discussed with the BSP team, the rural banking team.
Mm-hmm.
So they will be coming around. So we will announce when these teams are ready to come to these areas. At the moment, the PSP rural team is working with our people at Corvo and Vonindao.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully for this week, they'll be able to cover our recipients in that area. So there's no need for them to come down to Nosori.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good you have all the centers now that you're letting your recipients know about, so they know there's not a huge line and confusion at the bank. So this is really good. Yes.
And for places like Tavua and Rekreki, Navua and Tavua.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we will, once we finish these big centers, then we'll be moving. We'll be announcing as to the dates and times that we'll be moving to these areas.
So when you announce, it'll be like in the news, or they
Yeah,
just
it
have
will
to-
be. We will announce it. We'll get the written media, and we'll record and we'll send it to the
right.
BBC to announce it for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So they just
yeah,
have to
yeah,
keep listening to the
yeah. So
radio and news and all that. Yeah.
and we'll be our people will be using their contacts in the communities, like the Turani callers and the advisory counselors,
Yeah.
to disseminate this information to our
Right.
recipients.
I know you have to deal with a lot of recipients, and I know it must be quite challenging, but you're doing a great job, Director, and we'll be back shortly on Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. Welcome back to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. I'm Louise Kaunisela, and my guest is the director from the Department of Social Welfare, Rupeni Fatiaki, who is explaining about recipients who choose to move their bank to BSP, obviously because they don't have to pay bank fees. Isn't that right, my friend?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now you've given all the centers where they can take along with them the 3 main IDs and get that all fixed easy, and they don't have to rush because it's going to be
Yes.
for like the
This
whole
of
month.
this month.
Yeah. So I mean, just allocate
Yeah.
whatever day that they can go. All right. So again, just mention the 3 IDs that they need to bring along with them. You know what it's like sometimes they probably arrive and have one missing ID. So just to make it clear.
Yeah. So again to highlight the IDs that they will need to bring is first is the ID that it was issued by the Department of Social Welfare,
1, yes.
and then they need to bring their voter registration card.
Okay, that's their valid photo ID.
Yes,
yeah.
and then they have to bring their joint TIN card, or if they have the TIN letter, bring the TIN letter. And
Okay.
if they don't have it, we would advise that they get it before they bring it over.
Because they really need that.
They'll need it. For
There
the
is,
open.
yeah.
It's a requirement of the banks. Eh? If
Yeah.
you open a bank account, you'll have to have the TIN.
So it's no use going to the centers and you have one of these things, requirements that they need to take along with them, not there, then they just waste their time.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so just relating to the centers as well, what about the elderly persons and people living with disability? How will the social welfare department make it easier for them to change banks if they choose to again?
For the elderly disabled person, now we're discussing in consultation with PSP on how we could open a third party account. I mean, like using a third party.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's we have been discussing that with PSP, and so they haven't come back to us, but it's most probably we'll be able to allow it, but they can come and inquire, those who, especially with the third parties.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment we're still now in consultation as to how we can process this third party, especially the ones that are immobile.
Okay.
And so we would be telling them as to what would be needed
Okay.
if once PSP comes back to us and say, these are the requirements that they will need to provide when opening those bank accounts. But just for the information of our recipients, the disability allowance, those who are receiving disability allowance, at the moment there is no change. They can still continue to receive through vouchers,
Mm-hmm.
and they can still use the third party policy.
Okay.
Somebody who's doing it on their behalf.
All right.
So that has no change for
Okay.
disability allowance.
Okay. Cool. All right. Then, so for social welfare recipients who choose to remain with whatever bank, how much do the bank fees cost?
I'm not sure. But
Not
because
sure. Have to ask the banks for that.
That'll be the banks.
Yeah.
Depending on each bank.
Okay. So I know that you are working closely with BSP on how best you can deal with the changeover of banks and so you are still in discussion with all this. But I'm glad that you have the centers all set up. I think that's a good move, so people can start, getting their banks changed
Yeah.
if they want to again. So, how many Fijians are currently receiving a monthly allowance under the Poverty Benefit and Social Pension Scheme, as well as the Care and Protection Allowance schemes?
I think our latest statistics was I think it's at about 88,000.
Ooh.
And this is inclusive of, the three programs that currently under certification review and also the disability allowance. So the three programs that were under review was the poverty benefit scheme, and we have about 25,000 recipients on that assistance scheme.
Right.
We have the care and protection allowance, which there's about 8,000 plus in that. And the biggest one is the social pension scheme. This is the scheme, the assistance that goes to the elderly.
Okay, so we have a lot of elderly people.
Yeah, we have about 45,000
Ooh.
assisted under the scheme. And then you have the disability, which is about 8,000 also. So altogether, it comes to about 88,000.
That's a lot.
totally,
So
yeah.
roughly the percentage
It's
of
about,
the
I think,
population of the
10%.
country?
I think it's about 10%
Oh,
of the
okay.
country, yeah.
But I mean, even the numbers itself
Yeah,
is huge, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the recertification program. Now, it closed last week for the three main social welfare schemes we've just been talking about. So, how many recipients will now have their allowances suspended for the next 3 months, and why?
Okay, I think, in the last couple of appearances that I made, I did highlight now the importance of people coming to the offices and, getting the forms and certifying. Up to date, as of today, we have about 80%, and that's about 66 recipients who have filled those forms. The target was 77,512. That was the ones that we target to be recertified. And so we have issued about 66 forms, 66,000 forms.
66,000 now, because
Yeah,
I remember
so,
last time it was
yeah.
61, so you've
So,
got more now.
Yeah, 61,000 has come back.
Oh, I see, right.
Out of
okay.
that 66,000 forms that we
Oh, I see. Right.
issued,
Yeah.
61,000 plus have come back.
Yeah.
5,000 have taken the forms but have not returned. So they are holding on to it.
So why would they do that? That's a bit
I'm
weird.
not sure, but then we have the 10,000 that have never come to fill the forms. And so the deadline was July 10th. And so as of July 10th, we had 61,000 had returned those forms. And so from July 10th, after that onwards,
Yeah.
we continue to receive forms. We still encourage people to bring back those forms or come and pick a form and fill it. And so what happens is this. For those that have recertified before the deadline, they get their allowance, continue
Go smoothly.
smoothly.
Yeah.
But for those that have not after the deadline and now bring their forms, these are the ones that we are going to suspend. And we're not going to suspend them for 3 months. We are going to suspend them. So, for example, they're just bringing them now.
Yeah.
So we will look at, maybe in the middle of August that we will, once they bring it, that we will have another payment to include them. But they will not be included in the first payment.
Okay.
Now, after that, see, for example, if you do a payment in the middle of August, but there will be some who will still not bring those forms, then we will suspend it. They will not receive it in August. If they happen to bring it after that, middle of August, then, come September, we will include them in there. So it depends on how quick they bring their forms back. But however, as I mentioned in my last appearance, if we're giving them July 10th and onwards until September, October, August, September, October.
Right.
If they bring their forms within
This
this
grace
period,
period, yes.
we will pay. But in the next, we will suspend, but we'll pay once they bring back the forms,
Right.
and then we will include them in the payments. And so we're giving them the grace period. However,
Okay.
when it comes to October
Mm-hmm.
and then there's no form, whatever, then that's when
That's
we are
it.
going to permanently uh,
Cut it
stop.
off. Stop
Stop.
the
Yes.
payment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much on Speak Your Mind. This is Gold FM, only the classic hits, the only classic hit station in the country. I'm Louise Kaunisela, and we'll be back in a moment. This is Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. I'm Louise Kaunisela. Thank you for your good company. My guest is from the Department of Social Welfare, Rupeni Fatiaki. And, being a very busy man, I'm sure you've having the recertification to do, and now we have the transition of the banks. But thank you very much for taking the time to let your recipients know, what they need to do. Now, we're talking now about the recertification program. And I believe, what about some of them who've been rushing in the last minute? You might have a little story to tell us on that.
Yes. Part of this, the poverty benefit scheme and the care protection allowance, there is the food voucher program, which is $50
Right.
that they do shopping.
Yeah.
And so when we suspend the allowance, you also suspend the food voucher program. I mean allowance.
Yeah.
And so it happened that some of them, because they have not filled the forms, they went to do their shopping on on the first, which is Saturday,
Yeah.
and then yesterday, and they discovered that there's no funds. And so I would advise them, if that is the case, come back to us. If you have not filled the form, please come back and come and pick the form and fill it, because that's the reason why there's no funds
Yeah.
in your food voucher allowance, because we have suspended it because
You haven't filled
you have not
the
filled the form.
form, the
And so
recertification forms, right?
yesterday and the day, even from Saturday, we had calls, people calling, I'm here, there's nothing on my account. And so I would encourage them to please, and we've seen a lot of people come yesterday, some today to
okay.
fill the forms.
So they're
because they
still
haven't-
coming in.
So they have never justified, they have never filled those forms.
Okay, so I'm thinking, what planet are they on? So they're obviously not listening to the news.
Most probably.
Most probably, they're just
Because
yeah.
we have been going out, from January and, the last month.
Yeah.
I've appeared here a couple of times, highlighting, please, and like I said last time when I appeared, I was surprised. We were surprised that we were expecting the maritime recipients
Right.
to be the ones that will have challenges and difficulties in bringing the forms forward. But as
opposite.
we looked at the figures that had, had come back, in fact, the maritime islands, almost more than 90% have recertified. And again, it's the ones that around the towns and city areas
They got the easy
that
access and everything.
they're the ones that are rushing in now. When you
Okay.
ask them, why you having it? No, this, we have, but when you ask them where they're staying in Lemmy,
And they have
Rwanda,
no idea.
and they said they have no idea.
So that means the people in the rural areas, they are more up to date with current affairs and news and all this.
But then we're looking at, the percent that's, 80% have, have recertified. So, that's a big, question, if they say they have not heard about it.
I mean, okay, then maybe by word of mouth, if someone's listening now, they might have a neighbor who they know is, maybe let them know.
Strangely, when in the rush last couple of weeks to open bank accounts, we also discovered, some of them have heard about the information about the change. If you don't change,
Yeah.
I mean, the false rumors that say that if you don't change your bank account, then you will not receive your money. They rush to the
Very
bank
fast for that.
to change it, but they have not heard the information on the certification.
I mean, how weird can you get? I mean, it must be so confusing. Eh? Oy, man. Okay, so now you said the 10,000, none have been picked up at all.
Yeah, that's the number that,
That-
according to our records that, have not picked up. And 10,000, 10,000 plus.
10,000
Yeah.
plus.
And so
So
these are the
there's no
ones-
word, nothing, just dead.
Yeah. So these are the ones that are appearing now once the food vouchers have been.
Yeah. So you're getting them now, like the
So
story
they're
you're
running,
saying,
they're
yeah?
running to fill those forms, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, well, that's maybe, but yeah, that's really
But I
funny.
mean, like I said, we're giving that Chris Berry. If they bring it back,
Yeah.
they will receive the payments once we receive those funds back.
Well, I'm hoping that this 10,000, comes down less
Yeah,
and less and
most
lesser.
probably, yes. We anticipate that the number will go down as we
Yeah.
progress.
Yes. I mean, you still have that 3-month
Grace period.
grace period, but after that, no.
Yeah.
There'll be no exceptions, right?
Yeah.
So I expect the Social Welfare Department at the end of the recertification process will identify fraudulent recipients under its schemes, because that's what I'm thinking. So you will be able to, identify the ones who, maybe their parents or something passed away and they're still collecting. So I suppose that will be right at the end when the time limit is up. So what will
Yes,
happen? Okay.
Yeah, we are hoping that as we progress, the number will decrease, and then the ones that will remain with the ones that are the genuine ones that need to get out of the system,
Mm-hmm.
and this could be the ones that have passed away, and maybe somebody else is receiving on their behalf, or they have passed away and they have not informed the money may be going to the bank,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still appearing in our books as an active case, and so these are the kind of things that we hope that this recertification will bring out.
Yeah.
And so we'll be able to clean, our data.
Yes.
But for issues where we discover that some people have been, using that fund. No, when you come to the stage, there are processes that we need to follow. We will need to look at, the fraudulent, the False Information Act.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things that we can pursue.
Yeah.
Once we have.
If
come-
you
we have
really
come to the
filtered, I
end.
mean, it's coming
Yes.
towards the end now.
Yes,
You're
and
starting
so-
to see a clear picture on the numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
those are the
yeah.
processes that now we can take, once we verify all the information that comes out of this exercise.
That's really true. I mean, because the Social Welfare Department, some seem to think that, once they, start getting the money, that it's for a lifetime. I mean, maybe what about if the children start to work and, and have, getting good money? You can give to someone else who deserves it more.
Yeah, I think I did mention that, and I will continue to mention it because some people tend to think that, if I'm in, I'm in for life. This is a temporary, especially for the care and protection and the poverty benefit scheme.
Mm-hmm.
This is a temporary assistance to help you in your time of need, your family's need. And so once we see that you are able to provide and stand on your own 2 feet, then we exit, and then we bring in the list of people. We have pending cases who have been waiting, genuine cases who want to be assisted.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can bring them in. You can exit people and bring in people.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a matter of fact, we are given a budget and now that we have given a budget, so we'll have to work within that budget.
True.
So we cannot continue to bring in people and then not exceeding people, because that will, the end result would be that we will exhaust the budget, and that will be overspending. So the idea is to exit, bring in.
Yeah. That's so true. I mean, it's not for lifetime, and you should be fair and just do the right thing. On Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. I'm Louise Kaunisela. I thank you for your good company, and my guest is from the Department of Social Welfare, the Director Rupeni Fatiaki. Now, can you tell us about the increased payments in the 3 programs provided by the Social Welfare Department?
Thank you. Yeah, that's another activity that our team is working on. It's top up.
Mm-hmm.
As has been announced in the budget debate.
Right.
The top up is this is a fund that was given to the Fiji government and from the Australian government, the Fed, and this is specifically for the social protection. These 3 programs, as you mentioned, the poverty benefit scheme,
Mm-hmm.
the care and protection allowance, and the disability allowance.
Okay.
So the Fed had come and they had mentioned specifically the programs that are going to be assisted with the funds that they are given. And
Oh,
so those are the programs that they have identified. And so the poverty benefit scheme and the care and protection allowance, these are household targeted programs.
yeah.
So that's why, they have specifically mentioned those two programs. And then
Okay.
the disability allowance.
Yes. So why are they giving the money for the disability allowance, poverty benefit scheme, and the care protection allowance? And how long for?
This is part of the COVID and, and the Herald, DC Herald
Oh,
assistance, relief
okay.
assistance that
The
given by
Australian.
Donna government.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So it's part of helping the our recipients cope with the COVID and then those that are affected through the
GC Herald.
DC Herald.
Okay.
And so this is for 2 months.
2 months.
Yes.
That's quite short. I thought
they
it might be a
were
bit longer.
there will there would be there's going to be a lump sum payment for in 2 installments. So one would be coming this month.
Oh.
So and then the other payment would be in September.
Oh, I
And
see.
so
Okay,
my
so this is now August, so
yeah.
they
So
get the lump
my
sum
yeah
now and then another one.
yeah.
So it's only for 2 months if
only for
you're a
2 months.
recipient of
So
these
they will
three
expect
schemes.
to have the allowance increase in this month.
Okay.
Again, let me highlight for those that have recidified.
They're the only ones who are going to get it,
So
yes.
yeah, so at the moment, they would be the ones that will,
Yeah,
but like I said, those that will come later will have that, but later.
okay.
But it's this month
Mm-hmm.
and next month.
Next month. Oh, so that's something they
it is
will look forward
it
to.
is in addition
Mm-hmm.
to the current allowances.
Okay.
So it's going to be something on top of that.
Oh,
So for this month and next month there'll be an increase.
so it's
No,
only for 2 months,
yes,
no longer than
right.
that. So you get an early Christmas.
Come October, it's gonna go back to the
The
normal
normal.
allowance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
2 months. So
yeah,
that's something better than
yeah.
nothing.
So just letting recipients know, this is the assistance that's coming, the top
Yeah.
up with the help, of the government
Australian
of
government.
Australia,
Yeah.
and so it's for these 2 months.
Okay.
But when it comes October, when your amount goes back to normal,
Mm-hmm.
just know that that's normal.
Oh, okay. So
It's-
are you wanting to give them a surprise of how much more they'll receive, or can you tell us?
I think it should be a surprise. Let them find out in
Yeah, I think it's a nice. Well, see, I want to know how much they're getting, but oh well, I hope it's a nice surprise.
it
Do you
is,
think
it
that
is,
it is?
it is,
It
it
will
is.
be a good
It'll
surprise
be a good surprise
when
for
they
them,
see it.
yeah.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's nice. Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that you've recertified, so you will get this money. Kindly donated by the Australian government. Okay, just for 2 months, so don't expect it for 6 or 7 months.
7 months.
Yeah. All right, then. So I suppose that's all the information that we've given to our listener. And if there's something that you want to highlight very quickly, you can do so now,
Yeah.
Director.
Okay, I'm just reminding them again about the centers that I announced earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So please, the centers will be those centers that I've announced earlier. Please, my request is that please don't rush. We will be working and we'll be announcing. We'll be looking at whole of this month
Yeah.
to make sure that everybody who wants to change their
Yeah.
bank accounts will change. So we'll
Yeah.
be moving around. We'll be letting you know as to where we'll be coming and when.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no need for people to go rushing to one center.
In a mad rush, yeah.
Yeah, because we don't want that to happen because considering some of them are sickly and old,
Mm-hmm.
and so we don't want them to be uncomfortable in those centers because of the overcrowding.
Yeah.
So please just listen to the announcements broadcast. We will be informing you about those places that we are setting up for them to make it easy for them to come.
Yeah, I mean, that's very important. They need to listen to the radio, listen to the
Yeah.
news, or even watch news if they have a TV.
And
Well, that's
then-
another story.
And the other one is for those who have not filled any form,
Mm-hmm.
please, the grace period is still on.
Mm-hmm.
You can always come and fill those forms.
Yeah.
And so, once you bring back those forms, we will update.
Mm-hmm.
We lift the suspension on your allowance and you will receive your allowance back then.
Yes, Vinakavakalevu Foyaxia, thank you very much for the hard work that you've been doing. Director of the Department of Social Welfare, Rupeni Fatiaki Vinakavakalevu.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. On Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. I'll be with you again next week. We'll catch up then. But in the meantime, you take care, look after yourself, and more importantly, look out for each other. Nisamo demanda.